Hey everybody, sorry I'm a little late. I got a call from my mom last minute and I was like, oh, it's almost 3, but hi, I haven't talked to you in like 2 weeks. And that was kind of her thing of, I haven't talked to you in forever. Why haven't we talked in forever? So, talked to her for a little bit and then realized I had nothing ready for the actual, adjusty, there we go. Um, hadn't decided on even what I was doing today. Um, I worked a little earlier on some ideas for different brain dumps and different crafty time videos, but then never actually. There we go. That's so much better. Never actually chose a video I was going to do today, so I just like, oh crap, I need to choose a video to discuss or a topic to do. There we go. Um, so I've been doing a lot of art stuff, and I really am enjoying discussing and doing art on here, but until I find or get something to prop my camera up, I'm not going to be able to really do any art stuff. When I rewatched the sketchbook flip through, most of it was so blurry, especially in the very beginning. So bless you if you watch that. I am so sorry. If I get a chance, I'll probably try and refilm that. But I did on Amazon find this really cool arm that's super bendy that I can hook to my table, and it'll hold my phone. I can hold it like this, like this. Like it's got a fully angular, adjustable head part that the phone attaches to, and then the arm itself is also really snake adjustable as well. It's like a snaky kind of thing. So anyway, today's topic is coloring for anxiety and depression. This is something I've been doing for a really long time. I've collected a lot of coloring books. I unfortunately have a lot of coloring books that I'm like, they're so pretty, I don't want to mess them up. And I'm going to show you one of those today. But the others I have started working in periodically, and it kind of depends on my mood. But I probably have about 30 coloring books now. And we have some really simple ones, just more the quote unquote kid style coloring books. We got some Star Wars ones. We got a couple from Dollar Tree. The mandalas, we have a fairy one, a dragon one, a motivation one from Dollar Tree that are just fun. And those I don't worry about quote unquote messing up. So I usually finish those pretty quick. But the idea behind coloring for mental health or for excuse me, any sort of healing purpose is to bring you back to the moment. I plan on doing a video about mindfulness, and this will connect to the mindfulness piece. But it is about being present in the moment right now, not focused on I haven't paid this bill, my health is going to crap, so and so is mad at me, what if I can't do this? I'm afraid this is going to happen, this could happen. And basically, what that is your brain is trying to quote unquote prepare you to get you ready for something that could happen. It's supposed to be a protective factor that our brain does. But for some of us who have trauma, anxiety, depression, that has gone into high gear. It's over functioning, it's overworking because of that trauma, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, whatever it might be in your life. That alarm bell has been triggered, and there's no longer a sensor. It's just been clicked to on. And I think you'll understand what I mean when I say that if you've dealt with this before. So I've had it described to me one time, and I love this analogy, and I've used it with others before. It's that fire alarm, that that light constantly just going, that blinking light in your head. Because We're the only ones that can hear it. We're the only ones that can see it. So it's kind of that just blinking light constantly going off in your head of what if, what if, what if, what if. Don't you remember when this happened? That means if that happened back when you were 5 years old, that means this could happen again, and everybody's going to hate you, and you're going to totally screw up, and you're going to trip up that step on commencement day, and you're going to make a total fool of yourself. Why do you think you can do this without that like, your brain goes crazy, and what it thinks it's doing is helping you. It's preparing you. It's saying, hey, we need to be aware that this could happen. Unfortunately, with those of us with some mental health concern, it becomes debilitating. It gets to the point where we can't function sometimes. Not all the time. Some people it is. Like, they can't function for extended periods of time. That's very severe. Some of us, it's momentary and we just shut down and break down and cry or get angry or whatever reaction we have. But it's debilitating to have this voice in your head that's you. Because that voice in your head sounds like you. It is you saying you're a screw up. Don't you remember you were called a failure? Don't you remember when you were called stupid by your mom, when she got really mad at you that one time when you got a D on your paper in 10th grade and you're now in your 40s? Like, that doesn't matter, but in your brain, so let me step back. Your brain wants to prove you right, no matter what it is. It wants to be right. So, if you're thinking a lot of negative thoughts, which if you have a mental illness, specifically depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder are the ones I'm most familiar with, things I've worked with individuals, and I myself have severe clinical depression and anxiety, you have a lot of negative thoughts. That repetition of, am I going to fail today? Not, is it going to be a good day today? It's, what am I going to screw up today? Our brains tend to have that negative bent. So when our brains want to prove themselves right, it looks for the negative to prove the negative. So when you go to therapy, when you do self-help, when you do all these different things looking to kind of help yourself feel better, that's why we call it rewiring the brain, retraining the brain, because we have to relearn how to move our brain more to the positive. And this is going a little bit different route than I was planning, and I might do a whole video on this, but that's kind of where the coloring comes in. The coloring is stopping the brain for a minute. It's bringing our awareness to right now, because when we get stuck in those mindsets, it's either future, I don't know if I can pay that bill, what's going to happen when this comes up, I'm really worried about that exam, what if I don't get that promotion, whatever that future looks like, or the past of, I know I screwed that up, man, I think I pissed off my friend the other day, man, my husband and I got into a big fight yesterday, I don't even know if he's going to want to hug me when he gets home tonight. Whatever that looks like. So instead of focusing on the past or the future, coloring is a way to bring you to the present, to the right now, which is a part of mindfulness, the present moment. And so when you're coloring, you're focused on getting the color in an object. But another thing you have to be aware of is non-judgment, which is another part of mindfulness, which is probably one of the hardest parts for myself. Well, that looks like crap. I can't even color a freaking coloring page right. Boy, you really are a fuck up, aren't you? That's where we don't want to go when we're doing something like coloring or like a craft or an art project that's for self-care, something we enjoy. So, looking at it much through the eyes of a child or in a childlike way of, I'm just doing this for fun. And that's part of the reason I haven't done the coloring book that I really like, because I'm afraid of screwing it up. I haven't gotten to that point yet with that book of going, I'm okay with possibly, quote unquote, messing this up. Like, I'm okay if I'm not 100% okay with the outcome. If I color this one of the pictures and like it's not okay. I've had a couple friends like, just copy the page and copy the picture, and I probably will, so that way I have extras. And that's another way to do it. If you can't get past that, make copies. You now bought this book, and as long as you're not selling it, as long as you're not selling the copies, make a couple copies of the picture you really, really like and color it a couple different ways. That way you have that opportunity to adjust and to like, oh, I screwed that up. Well, you know what? You can do it better next time. Let's just have fun with it. You know what? You screwed up that little part. Let's just now play with colors. I wonder what this will what this will look like if I start blending these colors. And what? Oh, let's. You know what? I'm doing colored pencil this whole time, but I now want to play with oil pastels. I've already screwed it up. Let's just start doing oil pastels on this part. Or let's try watercolor. I wonder if that's really going to screw up the paper. Now you can play without worry of self-criticism. Hopefully. That's the goal. So, lecture part done. Sorry, I'm an educator by heart. So, I have 4 books here that I grabbed from my stack. Wait, 5. Okay, I can count. 5 books I grabbed from my stack that I wanted to show you that I've started all but one of them. And I tend to pick a book and I'll like take it with me to an event for doing it, and I'll bring my colored pencils, or I'll have my, oh my goodness, excuse me, that came out of nowhere. Or I'll have my pencil pouch that often has, like right now it has a set of 5 different color pencils, so I might have that with me and I'll just use my 5 with me. So this is one of them that I brought to an event, so I only have 1 page that's started in here. So it's 365 art, coloring, and wisdom to lift your spirit, or 365 ways to live in harmony. Art, coloring, and wisdom to lift your spirit. And what I thought was kind of cool with this one is this actually folds out so you can color this part. You probably need markers or something like that, a more wet medium, because you can see it's a glossy paper like the cover. But for this one, even the title page on the inside is, you can color it. And this, I think I started using gelatos for this one. This was an experiment. And with gelatos, you can add water to them and blend them. So I think my idea is to, after I'm done with this, to use the gelatos to smooth this out a lot more. But I haven't finished, and I think I'm going to do colored pencil for these more intricate parts in here. I hope that showed up because I blocked completely what I was seeing. But that is all I have done in this one. But just to show you, it has a coloring page and then some different quotes. And it goes through the whole book like that. So sometimes there's coloring sections on both sides. But I thought this was a really cool book that I found. And this is one of the smallest ones I own, by the way. Most of them are pretty big. I'm going to save the one that I'm scared to color in for last because, yeah, I love it so much. I watched somebody do a watercolor piece. She actually used a light box and traced it onto watercolor paper and used watercolor for it. And it's just so beautiful. I was like, oh, I have to have it. And now I'm like comparing my work to hers, which is not good. But anyway, Alice in Wonderland is the next one. There's a couple different Alice in Wonderland coloring books, but I loved the art style of this one. And this one is featuring the classic illustrations by Sir John Tenniel. And I colored the first part here. Cover page. And that was just colored pencils. I used marker, and I started this one. Not even marker. I think this was like a pen. I think that was... Where are you? There you go. I think that was this kind of a pen. Got a lot of different kinds of ballpoint pens and markers and stuff. And then, have I done any others? Nope, that was the last one I'd done. And then there's just some beautiful, beautiful artwork in here. It kind of tells the story. And I love the ones that have the black backgrounds. So that's another one I have. And then there's a couple different versions of Doctor Who coloring books, but this is the one I have. I love this version. Here's the back. And I thought this was a cool little insert. So you've got the Weeping Angel on both sides as the flap, which I thought was fun. So it starts right out, again, the cover page having two of the characters, and I can't think of what they're called right now. Why can't I think of what they're called? Dang it. Anyway, this was one done in 2015, by the way. So I did all the cogs. And I tend to just have fun and not worry too much about realism. And you can even do, it says things within time and space. It's kind of things you can look for in there. And I did all the cogs again on there. And then I started right there. It starts right off with the Weeping Angels. I love the Weeping Angels. And then they've got some interesting like mandala style ones, which I thought was kind of odd but fun. Couple with the TARDIS. They got a bunch with the villains, which I think is fun. Oh yeah, and they each of them have they have all 13. Well, actually, yeah, they have 13 because they don't have our most recent two recent doctors in here. This is way before our female doctor, but each have the head of the doctor with the doctor and then different characters in it. And then TARDIS. So one of the fun things too with a coloring book like this is you could be like nitpicky and I'm going to color exactly like the show, or you can just have fun and like, how would I decorate the TARDIS and color it funky and whimsical and just have fun with it. I find that I tend to try and go a little more realistic with it, which is my downfall, because if it doesn't look exactly like it, I get kind of mad and irritated, which is not the greatest. The second to last one is the one I've been coloring in most frequently. This is the one I've been coloring in the longest, and it's missing probably 5 or 6 pages. I've colored some stuff, given it away. I'll pull it out. I tend to pull out the pages. The binding is starting to go because I carry it with me everywhere when I've gone places. So this one's called Magic Garden Color Dream Create. And I am in love with this style because if you look here, they each have a different background. This kind of, oh, what is that? Like a copperish purple color, gold, gray, and a bronzy. Yeah, those two are kind of gold, but I'll show you as we go through. So this page fell out already. This is one I've been working on. I'm not very happy with it, so I was testing out a couple different markers and colored pencils and stuff in it. But this is the one I'm currently working on. Yeah, let me check. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do the leaf spots with yet. Ah. Like I said, pages are falling out. Here's one I finished a while ago. That's still in here. But they each have different backgrounds of that metallic sheen to it. You can hear it crinkling, cracking. So the pages want to crack out. Let's see, I was going to show you one more that I finished. So I've got a couple in here that I've finished. There's one. Here's another one. And this one, the birds were done with pencil, color pencil, and the little holly kind of things were done with the pens I showed you earlier, the Maped or Maped. So this is one of my faves right now. This one's a lot of fun. Oh yeah, let's back in, and stuff's falling out of it. And this one, I saw, like I said, someone doing this one and absolutely fell in love with it. It's called Ayahuasca, Jungle Visions, a coloring book by Alexander George Ward. Beautiful work. It has very much kind of a, oh, what's the word I want to use? Oh yeah, here's the back. I'll just read the back a second here. It says, Ayahuasca Jungle Visions is a coloring book inspired by artist Alexander George Ward's journey from the source of the Amazon River into the very heart of the Amazon jungle. There, at the home of the greatest abundance of life in the sacred earth, Ward encountered the ancient cultures and traditions of tribes that have learned to live in harmony with Mother Nature. So that's just the first little part right here of this, describing kind of what this is. So it has kind of a Native American feel to it, which I love. Very tribal, pagan feel to it. Like, this is the first one. They're so intricate. What is that? I hope that's focused on it. So this is kind of ancient father, like a father sky kind of feel to it. Oh, I love this one. I love the eyes. Let's see if I can find another one that's got a lot of, yeah, this one's got quite a bit of detail in it. But I just fell in love. Ooh, here's one. Let me see if it'll zoom in. Let me come close enough, and yeah, it looks like that is done. But like this part right here with all the faces, it's just amazing. And then there's some simpler ones too. And then in the back, they have what I thought was kind of interesting, an index. So if you can't remember what page everything is on, or if you're looking for a specific drawing, that's on here in the index. I did want to show you, where's the page numbers? That doesn't help, but there's no page number. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. This is the one that I saw the artist do in watercolor. This is the piece that made me fall in love with this book. Just look at some of that detail. So, yeah, that's one I'm hoping to get a little more confident to do. So, I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at the reason why I like drawing and coloring books, why I think it's important to kind of incorporate art or some sort of coloring for anxiety, depression, different mental health concerns. I think it's a great way to bring yourself to the current moment and not so focused and stuck in your head like a lot of us do with mental health concerns. I hate saying mental illness because I don't want to think of it as, oh, we're sick. Although I just tell people that because that's a lot easier to try and explain than, oh, I have severe clinical depression, and then people go, oh, I'm so sorry. It's easier. But when it comes to stigma and different things, I like to say mental health concerns because it is a concern. It's something you're constantly dealing with every day, every moment. So my heart goes out to you. I'm thinking of you if you are dealing with that, working through that. I'm here with you, right along with you. So I hope you're having a great day, and I will talk at you later. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks. Bye.